This doesn't happen every day. We are at the Mercedes-Benz India factory in Chakan, and this here is the new generation E-Class. The E-Class is a super important car for Mercedes in India. It is their best seller historically, and it is also the first car that they ever launched in India. This here is the V214 generation. It's an all-new generation, long wheelbase, right-hand drive, assembled in India. Welcome to Evo India and welcome to our walk around of the new generation Mercedes-Benz E-Class. Before we get into the review though, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the Evo India channel and leave a comment down below. What do you think of the new E-Class? We'd love to know. Now come on in, let's take a closer look. Let's talk styling. The E-Class, it gets a new face and it is a new generation car and looks radically different from the older one. Up front, you've got new headlamps, you've got this 3D pattern grille, and a very distinct element is this black panel that connects headlamp to grille. On the top, you've got these power domes, and what I like is that the E-Class doesn't look like anything else in the Mercedes-Benz range. When I saw the pictures, I wasn't fully convinced about how it'll look, but in the flesh, I must say, it does look much better than in pictures. More significant are the updates on the side. You get 18-inch wheels. Those are par for the course, but when you look at the wheelbase, that is what's new. The car is 14 mm longer than before, and all of those 14 mm are added to the wheelbase. In fact, the wheelbase is actually 15 mm longer than before, and we know what that means. That means more space in the back seat. There are some other cool elements over here. You get flush door handles like the higher end Mercs. You also get soft close doors for the first time on an E-Class. And this element is very cool. You've got this Maybach-like quarter glass. So when you open the door, ingress, egress is easier, and you've got this little glass area when you look out from the inside. At the rear, typical Mercedes-Benz 3-box design stuff. You've got a nice looking tailgate. You've got new tail lamps. You've got the 3-pointed star element in the tail lamps. And again, this is not something I was too convinced of when I saw it in pictures, but in the flesh, it does look very cool. These star-like elements have good depth to them. You've got chrome elements in the back as well, and you've got the E200 badging on the side. Overall, the Mercedes-Benz E-Class is a nice looking car. I think it's certainly going to stand out on our road. Like I said before, it doesn't look like too many other Mercs out there, so it will get a fair bit of attention. But the cool stuff is really on the inside. So let's head in there and check it out. Step inside the Mercedes-Benz E-Class, and where you really want to be is the back seat, and that's where we're going to start. First up, the seats themselves, they're very comfortable, very plush. They support you well, but you also sink into them very comfortably. The back seat, it can recline from 26 degrees all the way up to 36 degrees from this control over here. You've also got adjustable under thigh support, so you can pull it out a little bit more to give yourself more under thigh support. Space in the back is exceptional. The wheelbase is longer than the last car. The last car was already best in class, so you can imagine the amount of space we have over here. Knee room as well as headroom. In terms of other features on offer over here, you've got electric sunblinds for the windows. Your quarter glasses also have sunblinds, but those are manual. You've got a boss mode where you can click the single button here and then control the seat in front to make more space for yourself if you want to. In the center, you've got this massive armrest. Just look at the size of it. It's huge. And you've got a large cubby hole here, USB ports in there. Plus you've got this rubberized tray with a wireless phone charger in here. Down in the center, you've got 4-zone climate control. This is an upgrade from the last E-Class. The last E-Class got 3-zone climate control, and now rear passengers can individually control their aircon settings. Plus, you've got this sunroof at the back. The rear sunroof doesn't open up, but it does have a lot of light in here and does improve your sense of space. Even the material finishes at the back are really nice. You've got soft touch everywhere in the doors. You've got this wood finish on the seat in front. You've got ambient lighting all around. And you've got these soft neck pillows. It's really a special place to be. The E-Class backseat has been best in class, and this one takes it a level up. And then you step into the front seat and you realize the E-Class has made serious strides in the front. No longer is it a car that's solely focused on the back seat. This is probably the most driver-focused E-Class yet, particularly when it comes to the in-cabin experience. You can't start with anything but the super screen. This is a massive slab of glass across the dashboard that has a passenger screen, it has a central screen, and you have a separate instrument cluster. Now this is different from the hyper screen in the EQS in that it is not one single screen from the left all the way to the right. The instrument cluster is a separate unit that pops out from here, and that's why it's called super screen. It runs the latest generation of MBUX, and with that comes newer icons, newer functionality. It's more intuitive than before, but it's also got some cool features that really stand out to me. One that really stood out was routines, where the car can be taught a few routines and it can execute those functions on its own. For example, every time you drive into work, it can be geotagged to that location to roll down your window so you can punch in if you need to. Or you can tell it that every Saturday night, I'm taking my wife out for a drive, so can you dim the lights, put on some nice music, and it will do that as well. So you can tailor and customize these routines to your routine, and it will work very well. Something else that's cool is the fact that it can run Microsoft Office 365 apps on here. So Word, PowerPoint, Excel, all of that stuff. If you're the kind who works in your car, it's going to be super useful. You can throw it up on the center screen or on the passenger screen. You've also got a camera right in the center of the dashboard to take video calls or selfies if you want to have a little more fun. In terms of features on offer, you've got a banging Burmester audio system. This is 4D audio, so you've got exciters in the seat, so it can make the seats vibrate a little bit when the bass hits. Plus, you've got 17 speakers around the car, 360-degree sound, and I'm not listening to music today, but I'm sure it sounds like a riot. Keeping with the E-Class's upmarket stance, the material selection is phenomenal. The center is obviously dominated by the screens, but down here you've got this beautiful open pore wood, a nice contrast from the tech up there, and you've got this soft touch leather everywhere. The seats also, just like the back, very comfortable in the front. Good lumbar support, good lateral support, holds you well. You've also got these soft neck pillows up here, and the driving position, well, is very familiar. You've got a familiar steering wheel and a familiar cockpit. Another cool thing that stood out to me here are the air vents. Now you notice the air vents are a complete arc from the left to the right of the car. Visually, they look very cool, but they've also got some cool functionality. You can actually adjust these air vents digitally. So you go to the menu and you can choose where you want these air vents to point from the screen itself, and they will adjust themselves automatically. It's similar to what Porsche did with the Taycan, but they've done something smart which allows you to manually adjust the air vents if you want to as well. That's not what you can do in the Porsche, so ups to Mercedes for doing that. Overall, the E-Class has become very techy. There's a visible lack of buttons in here. All of the functions have moved into the screen, but it does feel very special. It feels very expensive, and it feels much more upmarket than it ever has before, from the driver's seat, from the back seat, and that's a really, really good thing. Now let's talk engines. The E-Class will come in the E200 guys with a 4-cylinder petrol motor. This engine makes 201 bhp and 320 Nm of torque. It also has a mild hybrid 48-volt system attached to it, which makes an additional 23 horsepower and 205 Nm when required. There is also going to be a diesel, the E220D, that comes with a 4-cylinder diesel engine, which makes 194 bhp and 440 Nm of torque. Just like the petrol, this too will come with a 48-volt mild hybrid system, putting out 23 horsepower and 205 Nm when required. So there you have it, the new Mercedes-Benz E-Class. You've got new styling, you've got more space in the back, and you've got better tech on the inside. And I know what you're wondering, what are the prices going to be? We estimate prices to start at rupees 85 lakhs ex-showroom. That is going to be at a premium compared to the likes of the BMW 5 Series. And it's going to be more expensive than the outgoing E-Class as well. But Mercedes does pack their new cars with a whole load of tech. So now you tell us, what do you think of the new Mercedes-Benz E-Class? Drop your opinions in the comments below. We're going to be driving the E-Class very soon, so stay subscribed to the Evo India channel for that video drop, and I'll see you next time.